Okay. It looks like we are live. Okay. It looks like we are live. Okay. Although, oh, nope, now it says it's showing. All right, cool. Let's do this. It is 12:42 in the a.m., September 8th, 2023. I am Eden Morningstar. Welcome back to my channel this evening. Okay, so, oh, let me pull this back up again. There was a transparency issue this guy was having. John Gertie, we're going to figure this out for you, buddy. They lose the color because it is a transparent glow, and the glow, I think, is the. It's hard to tell because I don't have the actual. Composite clarity, see that much for background. Okay. So basically, what I would like to do is create a Blender tutorial on how to composite glow and bloom on a, because there is a way to do it, to put glow and bloom and other transparent objects such as clouds and things onto a transparent background. The thing about it is that there is a process to it that's quite difficult to work with. Or at least it is for me because I've had very little experience with it. So what I'd like to do is recreate um, his scene. So I'm gonna delete this and add in a Taurus. I'm not gonna go as far as, I mean, it's just gonna be basic. We just, oh, damn it. Okay, beautiful. Whoops. Shade smooth and normals. I go auto through smooth. Okay, so here's also another thing that I would like to do. Oh hell, I forgot about this. I can't change the Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to bring up another. We'll do this because oh well, that's fine. I'm gonna use this one for a recording. So I'm gonna go out. Look, we're in the same. Let's see again. YouTube tutorials. Let's do folder Blender. Um, and then I'll just put it in here. Select the folder. Apply. Wait a minute. Hold on. Um, bloom on transparent background. Okay. Then we'll do that. Okay. And then I also want to bring this up, and I'm gonna go look for Oh hell. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm starting to lose my. Okay, just so that I have it there. All right, now. Um, before I start recording, I want to just sort of set some stuff up here so that I can just get right into the study and figuring out how to do this. And it's really just going to be kind of a, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so we have our, let's see, EV, let's go, let's just bring them both to 64. We want bloom, ambient occlusion, screen reflect, let's say performance high, and high bit depth, film transparent. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got, let's see, what would the contrast be best for glow and bloom? Or, yeah, let's go with a medium contrast. I smell Tabasco. Okay. So that way it's not too terrible to look at. Okay, so with this, wait, I'm gonna need shader editor, the new material. I'm gonna call this disk mat, and then I'm going to replace this shader with emission. Okay, there we go. Damn. Okay, let's change the color a little. And then do this. And then view. Ah, I don't need all that. 0.1 would work best, so. And then, let's see. Okay. Do this, go to camera here. And I'll go there. Okay. Okay. So I think that this is pretty good right here. We could probably start with this. Um, Let me see. We got, this is work on these bloom settings a little here. And then, no way, that's good. Intensity. Alright, I think that would work out just fine. So I'm going to start this recording. And I do believe I could work this way out. You know what I mean? Uh, Hell, I'm having different thoughts here for a second because I'm seeing, I'm looking forward to what's gonna need to be done, and I'm thinking that I should probably do a dry run on this first. So welcome to this new dry run. All right, I think I got an idea. So let's try this out. Because really, honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but this, well, shit, dude. Um, where am I putting this? I'm gonna put this in here with the. What should we call this? Um, okay, so hold on, I'm confused now. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Where did I just send that? I was pretty sure I did. Oh, I did. It's in here. Um, I see what he means. Okay. I see what he means. See, it renders out just fine. But when you look at it, there's nothing there. However, let's find out what happens. Okay. All the color disappears. Because, hold on a minute. Let me see something. Um, I'm confused for a second because it should have at least preserved. Oh no, actually, because look, um, this is the color of this disc. It doesn't preserve all of this, so we need to go into compositing, and then we control add input. Um, Shit, I have no idea. Image? Uh, let me see. Input. Okay, for some reason it won't let me. I think it's because there's something I'm not doing here. Use nodes, that's why. Okay, so this is the rendered layer here. This is the composition. So what we need to do is add a filter. Glare. He said he used glare. There's a distort. Fall. Or maybe here. Converter. Vector. Huh. So I'm guessing that I guess glare is I forgot how to render it in there's a way to render this. There we are. What if it was just oh hell, I forgot how I just forgot how to do that. It was I don't remember now how I just did that. It was like instinct, and now I can't. I've got no. I don't know how I did it. I forgot how to do it. What? Why can I not remember? I just did it. Hmm. Oh no. Ah! The viewer node. Okay, so not even with the compositor. But that is because I believe it's not rendering from the compositor how to render it from the compositor. That's what I need to figure out. Hmm. Still, nothing. Hmm. Yeah, still nothing. Oops. Alright. So what if... Huh. Hold on a minute. I'm having an epiphany here. Think. Hmm. Not entirely sure how this changes. Hmm. Okay, I think I get it. Alright, hold on. Let's do this. Okay, so vector, let's see. Now we want to go shader, mix shader, add. Wait a minute. I don't know if that'll work. No, 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 that it wouldn't. However, okay, this wouldn't. Let's try doing it with the world though, because see, here's the thing: is we could bring. I think maybe let's try it like this. I'm gonna bring this so dark like this, right? And then what we could do is add a mix shader and add. Oh crap! I don't even know where it would be. Oh right. Fine. Oh jeez, they don't have it. in here. Okay, so scratch that idea. Just gonna put it at economic shader, volume absorption, which did no good. Hmm. Okay. Um. Well. See, and that's the thing is the composition should work. However, I don't know why it's not working. I feel like there's something that I don't understand. Oops. All right, no, it's not. That's not showing. There it is. Fog glow. What the heck's going on here? Damn it. What? Uh. Okay, now it's not showing it. Okay, well. Now I have no idea what's going on because it's supposed to be showing it on the backdrop right here. Oh, here's what I could do. And do it before I. Still, same damn thing. Alright, now, well then what if, let's go ahead and do this. Invert mix. Hold on a minute. I think, but I also want to add, hold on a minute. I want to add, wait. No. Oh, what's this? Hmm. Still nothing. Okay, then let's try this. Let's go cycles. Um, mm, wait a minute. Hold on. Ah. Okay, so, well, damn. It preserved the color data to do it that way. But it's still just, it doesn't have any of the glow or the bloom that it's supposed to. But the only way to do this would be to allow there to be a background. You can't do it without, there's no way to do this without, there was in the compositor, but see that um, in earlier versions of Blender, I would be able to do this. And this with no background is what you got. But it's actually not, it's quite not like that. The other thing I'm thinking of, perhaps maybe, let's go back over here to Eevee. Okay, so I want to get out of there. I want to see if I can find, oh, wait a minute. Let me see the camera settings. There's something about that too. Missed. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Why is the camera way up, way down there? The heck? Okay. Let me see something. Grr. Hmm. Okay, then I'm gonna try something. Let's do a plane. Scale it to here. And then, on the material. Let's see what we got here. Hey, come on. I want to see. Let's see. I want to add shader, mix shader to here. Oops. So this is what I was going to do with the background, but they don't have this. Um, we need alpha blend. None. There we go. Look at that shit. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Look at that. Now, view, render image, image, save. Oh, I must have exited out of it. Alright, we are YouTube tutorials. Damn, and it's still like this. Okay, well, perhaps maybe that's just because it needs a little bit more, um, a little bit more gray. Darken that up a little bit. So let's go viewport render, image, oops. Save as plus. Ah, it's working. Wait a minute, what the heck? Wait a minute, what the hell? There we go. It's working. The problem is, now you have to composite it in the... Why does it look better in that little window than it does actually here? But see, and then you still got some transparency, but the problem is it's still not there. You'd still have to bring it up more. But to get the full capacity, you're still gonna have to. However, with that being as it is, um, it still makes it easier to composite. So let me try turning it up like that, and then we'll view, render image. Cause see how it's like right here. There's anyway, plus, excellent. See, it's still really weird because it doesn't look like it's blooming hair, but so you may have to just composite this thing in. It would actually be another Blender and GIMP tutorial, but let's try it out. Okay, let's go ahead and bring this guy. Oop, actually, before we do that, I'll bring this one here. And then let's also bring in, what do we got here? Screenshots. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, so, and then all you'd have to do is just do like, I don't know, an overlay or, oops, lighten only or dodge. That's sick. Like that. Addition. Vivid light? No. Hard light. I mean, that would look good too. See, the thing about it is, oh, I know. Burn. No, I'm just going to test a few here out. Ooh, that looks sick. It's totally unrelated, but I really like that. Screen? I mean, the bloom is there. It just doesn't look like it does on here. So, alright, then that would mean solution. Um, then what we probably should do is turn the transparency off completely and go almost black here. No, okay, all the way through for this one. And then do viewport render image and save it. Okay. And I'm gonna hide this for a second. Go into here. Seem to get full bloom on this one. So it's and it looks like the render. Okay, so now, oops, we're gonna take this into here, and then I'm going to use a soft light or a lighten only. There we go. A lighten only. Luminance. Ooh, God, no. Screen? That looks nice. That's got a bit of illuminance to it as well. Let's try dodge. No, that's good, but not addition. Yeah, dude, look at that, man. I mean, and it's still transparent, but as you see, you know, okay. Oh, by the way, then you can also do it that way too. Oops, not that one, this one. Bring this down and it'll bring the pop out the other side. Let's move this around and see what we got. Yeah, look at that, man. So that could be a way to do it. Let's go ahead and do a tutorial on that. That was very successful and it didn't have to that was very successful and there really wasn't there's no major thing to it. It's just actually I won't even bother with the tutorial. Let me just show them the best way to do this on a recording. Oops, that's a stream. All right, hey dude, I just wanted to um, show this to you. So the thing about it is, I've tried every other way to do it, and it doesn't seem like there's really a good way to do it. It just doesn't ever come out. Um, so I found the best way to do this would be to render out, if you're using Eevee, however you do, you know, um, render out the viewport render image or but have your okay so have your background or your environment background completely black, um, and then have let's see when you do your emission or whatever. Wait, what am I where am I at here? This doesn't have anything to do with that, does it? Nope, that was completely different. Okay, so I'm gonna actually do this. Okay. And then I go into here, let's see, bloom test. This, and I'm gonna trash that. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so I wanted to show this to you. I've done different tests, and I did find one with cycles that worked really well to preserve the the color data, um, but not so much the bloom or glow. And after much deliberation, this is what I have come out to. This is the only thing I've come out to thinking of what could be done is to leave the environment, the background environment, to black and render out your image with a black environment, and then save it. Uh, and then bring it up in your photo editing software, and you can place it uh, onto your image where you need to. Now look, here's how I've got this going right here. For this particular render, um, I've got it sitting here and it's got the bloom is working well. The glow is working well. And so um, it looks like, and what I'm doing is it's got a black background, but it's got an alpha channel on it. And then I just did the screen blend option, or I'm sorry, yeah, addition, not screen. Screen actually isn't too bad either. You can see how it's working there, and you can, you know, it's working well that way. So it looks like basically the only thing you could do is um, pretty much do it that way. But this right here, screen and addition, I think work really well for this kind of thing. I'm For what you're doing, I'm thinking that that it might be the same, very similar. That looks like it's the only way. Oh, and then don't forget the opacity too. Just drop it down a slight bit. But addition and screen dodge is horrible, obviously. At least for that. Um, but everything else, you get things like this. This looks pretty good too. But as you can see, it's kind of inverted in the yeah. So it's kind of weird looking. You could overlay it, I guess. That preserved it too, but it also kind of you still have that black, which you could mask it. So that would be the other step while in this area is to just mask the black. Not entirely sure how to do that, to be honest with you. Now I had grabbed one that I found was there we go. And so this is damn. We could actually move this up. See now we've got and then move these two together. You've got a good decent uh, you've got a good decent hue right here, but it's gonna take some of that kind of work, sadly. It's possible I could actually do a tutorial about it. I might. We'll see. Okay, so I just want to send this to him, see if I can. Hmm. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just tell him. Actually, before I go off to that, let me just see one more thing. Um,
Have you ever wondered if you could use the bloom effect outside of Blender? If so, you may find yourself wondering, how? Oh, that's easy. Just go to Render Settings, scroll down to Film, and set the world to be transparent. Render it out, and it's gone. It's completely gone. Well, I guess Google should have an answer. Am I going to have to deal with this problem with every single video I make? Let's just ignore what you saw there. None of that happened. Yes, that's way better. Yeah, you didn't see any of this. None of this happened. Now, where was I? Right. A while back, I wanted bloom with transparency, but I had no clue where to start, so I turned to Google. However, the only thing I found was that nobody really knows anything about this, which is surprising considering how many people are into Photoshop and all of that stuff. You would think that maybe someone, somewhere, would have the answer. I mean, this shouldn't be just Blender specific, but if you look it up, it kind of is. If you have a brain, you should be able to tell that no, bloom is not just Blender specific. It's all over the place. It's in Unreal Engine, it's in random pictures, it's in the real world. And yet, if you want to composite it over another image, you look it up and all you get is Blender. Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Blender is awesome, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to just composite it in your own program somewhere else without even using Blender? I mean, is that not the entire goal of having bloom with transparency? Being able to export it and use it somewhere else? Upon Googling it, you'll find that many people have actually come up with a fix for this. But let's be honest here, their greatest and only solution is a polished turd at best. So I decided to jump into Blender and do my own thing. For days, I found nothing. And of course, me being me, I wasn't about to accept such a cheap workaround. So, since there wasn't really an answer, I ended up just calling it and giving up. That was about a year ago. More recently, I took it upon myself to learn some better 2D skills so I could make nicer thumbnails. I wanted to have my logo with bloom and transparency in the corner of this thumbnail I was making for the first part of my data transfer modifier video. However, my logo just so happens to be a 2D icon containing bloom that I made in Blender, which is the exact same issue I was facing before. So I turned back to Google and spent hours searching the internet yet again. It's obvious that there's still no answer. So I decided to take this into my own hands and find a way to get it working. Needless to say, it didn't take me long. I decided to do some testing with the default cube because the default cube is already here in Blender. I rotated it by 45 degrees, changed the camera angle, and started setting up emissive colors on the 3 visible sides. I went into rendered view and turned the world color down to black so I could see the bloom better. Suddenly, a light bulb blew up in my head. I cracked the code. The answer is right there. Can you see it? No? Okay. I'm going to put this to the side for now so I can explain myself. Because guess what I found out? Everyone has been doing it wrong this entire time. If you look it up, everybody is using a node called alpha over, sometimes in conjunction with making Blender run a bloom pass separately. And if they aren't using the alpha over method, they turn to some other method with the exact same effect. Except for this guy. He just decided to blur a cube and call it good, and then spam everyone with it. Because yeah, why not? When you try any one of these methods, you'll notice a few things. First, there will be darkening around the edges of your images where you've faded the bloom in. Secondly, the colors will be totally off. And third, now that you've got bloom with transparency, there's something else that just doesn't look right. You don't know exactly what it is, but something else is definitely wrong. You just can't quite put your finger on it. The whole thing has been reduced to what looks like some sort of cheap Android graphics. If I set it up to look a certain way, I want to keep that look. So I will not accept this as a working method. And honestly, it shouldn't be accepted by you either. There is apparently another method that works though. Save as OpenEXR. Emissive light is still there. To make it visible, just add some background. Oh, really? Of course it's still there. How could I be so blind? No, it's not there. And you didn't even bother with checking before posting this as if it was the answer. While it is still there in the render passes in Blender, it however is not there once you save it. PNG, OpenEXR, or anything else for that matter. I put links to all of these threads and videos in the description if you want to take a look at them. The answers are all the same. You'd think they looked it up, read one thread, and piggybacked off that for their answer. So let me just get this whole idea that you can even have bloom with transparency out of the way. Because the fact is that bloom cannot be stored if there is transparency. Let me explain a few things starting with true bloom. See, real bloom always has a shifted hue to it unless the value is spot on with red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, or magenta. Anytime you divulge from any one of these colors, the hue of the bloom will shift ahead closer to the true color, ahead of the real value that you've set. And all of the fixes that I've tested completely get rid of this, excluding this one, which almost gets rid of the effect. That's the one I've been using as an example. Reason being, it's literally the best option. If I put the best up against my workaround, then it just makes it all that much worse whenever I put their worse up against it. So here, see if you, oh God, ugh. Whoa. Now going back to a minute ago, you remember I said that you cannot have bloom with transparency. So tell me, how can I have this cube floating on screen with a perfect bloom effect and working hue shift? This has been exported to PNG and I'm using it in DaVinci Resolve. So, how am I doing it? Did I just use the alpha over method and change the hue manually? What, for every frame? No, I did something completely different. If you look into the render passes, you can see that there is no transparency in the background. And if you look into the transparency layer, you'll see that there is no bloom there. So what's the fix? Well, we just have to fix the transparency. No, that's wrong. Because by trying to fix the transparency, all you're doing is fading in black behind the bloom so the bloom can show. And by doing this, you won't get the colors or the look you're after. This is not a bug or a flaw in Blender like people are saying.
I'm assuming it's been a bug or a glitch with Eevee for the longest time.
This is a given in any program, but the reason behind it is so simple, it's shocking that nobody has figured it out yet. Allow me to explain this in great detail. As we know, bloom becomes most visible when we set the world color to black. But why is it disappearing when it's set to white? Looking at most of the fixes, you can see that they are fading black in behind the bloom, making the bloom visible even on a white background. But real bloom will never look this way. Everyone's workaround methods are actually really close to the real bloom. But this has a very specific look to it. It appears to be lighting everything around it. So what this is telling me is that the bloom effect is actually being applied with a completely different method than just being slapped there with an alpha channel. Bloom is not added with transparency, and everybody saying that just has it all wrong. Now about white making the bloom disappear. The only time I have ever seen this is when you're using a compositing mode. More specifically, this mode is known as add, or additive. This isn't some hidden feature that's untouchable either. You can find it in the mix node, you can find it in modifiers. Hell, you can even find it outside of Blender. It's everywhere. It's in every single 2D program that supports layering. It's in DaVinci Resolve. It's in Unreal Engine. It's in OBS Studios, though OBS Studios isn't that good at it. It's in many, many more programs as well. Okay, so it's everywhere, but how exactly does it work? To explain this, I'm going to leave Blender and go to a small program that I use all the time called Medibang Paint Pro. Okay, so the add mixing mode is used to add values to an image. Within its own layer, an image being used for the effect would be set to that mode, affecting the image in the layer below. What makes the add mode so cool is that the add mode will never darken an image. It will only ever brighten an image. But there's more to it than that. As an easy way to explain this, I'll fill the picture in with black. Now I'll add a new layer and change my color value up just slightly. Scribbling on this, you can see that because I have chosen a brighter color, it is indeed now brighter. Okay, now let me do another layer and scribble around. Now I'll add in another layer and scribble even more. Okay, so you can see that it looks pretty much like we'd expect. All 4 of these layers are separated, with the top layer being on top of the other ones. But there's nothing really special going on here. So what if I set one of these layers to add? Nothing happened. Let me go ahead and just do it with the next layer. Now we have a little bit of brightening. So what if I do it to the next layer? Okay, so here's the thing with add. It will take any value that is not 0 and or pure black and add that onto the value that currently exists on the image below. Make sense? Let me try to explain this a little bit better. The layers that are set to add are taking anything brighter than 0 or pure black. Then, if it contains values that are brighter than black, it adds that value onto the values in the image below. In this case, it will double the brightness with every layer. The first layer did nothing, and that makes sense, because the value that it's adding is no different than the value that I chose, which is no different than the value it would be if I never set it to add. Notice that the others are only adding to the lines and not to the original image. Also notice that when I change the original image's brightness, the amount added on is the same as the difference in the value from black that I chose. I chose to make it this much brighter, and it's adding exactly that much more on. This gets interesting when you use colors. Okay, so enough with this little explanation. What does this have to do with our bloom? Remember earlier? As we go to white, the bloom disappears. We lose it because there is nothing more there to add anything to. White is as high as any of the values go. And I know this sounds trivial, but I also know that some of you don't know this. So the more info, the better. So how would we go about exporting this from Blender and using it? It's actually easier than you might think. To do this, you need to get an object that has bloom, obviously. Now you need to set the world background to be black and then render it out without using transparency. Save it as whatever you want, then we need to render it out again, but this time we need to check transparency on. Now, as you probably know before coming to this video, it is displaying the bloom, but it's actually not there once you export. So go ahead and just export this anyway. We're going to need it for later. I don't know if you can see what I'm getting at here, but I'm going to go ahead and drag the one without bloom into Medibang. Then I'm going to drag the one that has no transparency and the bloom in as another layer. Now set the layer containing the bloom to add, and you'll see that it gets brighter. But you'll also notice that we don't have any transparency. That's because you actually have to have data below the layer for it to add to. It actually conflicts with transparency, as you can see. So just for a quick, simple picture, I'm going to open Blender and take a screenshot. Now I'm just going to go back to Medibang, hit Ctrl V to paste, pull it down below the other layers. Now there's one more thing we have to do. We need to make the layer that has the transparency completely black. I could have done this back in Blender, but I knew that Medibang was able to do this as well. So I'm just going to go to Filters, Hue, and change the brightness all the way down. And there we go. There is the bloom right there. Working perfectly and looking better than any method anybody has ever posted on the internet.
Okay. So why in the heck did it take you 13 minutes to explain all that? Okay. So it was almost exactly what I was doing before. Alright, so let's try this one more time. So we already did this. So let me go ahead and okay. So let me go ahead and do that one with the transparency. then that way I can. No, it's still rendering for some reason as. Oh, that's why. Okay, hold on. Oh no, I wanted to. Cause see, it has to be the same. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Um. Oh. Say this. Go into pictures, screenshots. Choose a different one this time. Go here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. And then, um, okay, so we'll go here and here. Up one, one. Put this to addition. As a matter of fact, hold on a minute. See, look at that. That's how to do it. Is you make it darker. Okay, so that's the way to do this. All right, so I'm gonna bypass all that bullshit that dude was talking, because man, that took a lot of real, and it was all hateful about everybody else, and he's smarter than everybody. So all right, pull all that BS out, and a lot of stuff that didn't need to be covered, just to get to the point. Okay, so let's just get to the point and straight up. Not stream. Okay, so here's how I have found, in my opinion, the best way to do this. So first, um, you want to save, um, you want to render out two images. Okay, so first you want to make sure that your background is set to black, and set it to black. And make sure transparency is turned off. So then that way you have a black background. Render that image out. And then render the image with a transparent background, which will be, this, um, but it'll be okay. So you take it into an image editing software. You could probably do this in Blender too, but it's easiest for me to do it this way. It would more than likely be the same concept. So here's the thing about this. We have our images here. So we bring the bloom in. That's the one with the bloom and a black background. Then we bring in the one without the background, or with the transparency. And then change this to addition. Now, the thing about this is, now we're at this part, the reason it will show nothing is because there is no background. So it has to go over top of something in order for this to be seen. However, if you were to pull this out, yes, it would look like there's only just this piece right here. Like it's only just your object, and there's no color or nothing like that. However, if you were to bring a background in, oh, that's not really okay. Hold on a minute. Yeah, delete that. That wasn't a very good image. There we go. You bring it down to the bottom of them, and then you look, and then you've got this. Okay, so essentially, you don't need to have anything else. Just export this now as this one. I'm going to call it no, there we go, bloom overlay. Okay, now then what I'm going to do, I discard and discard. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the where is it? The bloom overlay. Then I bring in that same image and put it to the bottom. Oh, crud. Oh, hell, and I didn't even save the... Okay, so we'll do... Okay, so that's not... Oh, well. Okay, so then basically you just... Oops. This is just how to... Just gotta do it this way, I guess. So this is how you do it in each one. And then take it to addition. And then you've got your... You can adjust it through here like this, how intense you want it to be. And then you can just clip them together and move them around. Let me see if I could do this one. No. Okay, so we'll try this again one more time. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and discard the changes. Do this. And okay, so I found the best way to do this is like this. It's also the quickest way. So turn your background to a absolute black, and then um, turn off. Where's it at? Turn off the transparency, so that way you have a black background and render that. Then turn your transparency back on and render that. So you have two different images, and one will have the background, the black background. The other one will look like this with no background. Take it through. I'm using GIMP, but whatever photo editing program you use, take it through that. All you have to do is take this, bring this in, the one with the transparency. As you can see, there's transparency. And the one without transparency but has the black background. Go to the blending mode and turn it to addition. Now, with this, you still can't see it yet, but what you have to do is add a background so you can see it. So that's the best way to do it. That's actually the only way I can find to do it. That's not the one I wanted. Okay, so I found the best way to do back on and render that. So you have two different images, and one will have the background, the black background. The other one will look like this with no background. Take it through. I'm using GIMP, but whatever photo editing program you use, take it through that. All you have to do is take this, bring this in, the one with the transparency. As you can see, there's transparency. And the one without transparency but has the black background. Go to the blending mode and turn it to addition. Now, with this, you still can't see it yet, but what you have to do is add a background so you can see it. So that's the best way to do it. That's actually the only way I can find to do it. Okay. So, hey, we learned together tonight. Now I've figured out the best way to do bloom. It's no big deal. I mean, that's the easy, and perhaps maybe I could even let me see if we could even merge that down. Nope. Merge it down and it goes away. So they just, you move it together. What if this doesn't even see, I don't even think this needs to be in there to be honest. I think this could even go away. Cuz I don't it just didn't look like, you know. I'm not even going to bother doing a tutorial on this cuz this is just I mean it's cool, but that tutorial would be so freaking short. It's just easier to do it that way. That's cool. I like that. It took some hardship to get it there, but hey, what not? That's okay. All right, I'm not even gonna save that. I'm gonna go out and have a quick break, and then I don't know about you guys, but I haven't had a very successful. Um, okay, so I got that taken care of, man. That's all good. I can deal with that. Helping the guy out. So, um, shit. I've only got a couple more hours before I gotta scoot. And really, what to do with the time? That's my question. Honestly, I'm gonna change this to Blender study session. That's fine with me. Okay. So hopefully that doesn't screw up the. I'm gonna change just because I want to change it to. That's what it ended up being is a study session. So I'm just gonna change it to that. Nice. All right. Well, hell, maybe I'll just finish off the rest of the night with some Fallout 4. Does that sound good? I'm actually a little bit beat from this. My brain is just like, no more thinking, please. It was kind of intense, man. I mean, I learned a few things, and in the process of such things, we all kind of learned a few things, I'm sure. But that's just the simple. It's just simple. I am actually quite impressed with that. That is something. Oh, I just thought of some of the benefits of doing this. See, the thing is, though, is do that on all of them, though. What if you're doing an animation, or you have to follow? Well, I guess it could be just an image. But yeah, what about an animation, though? Would you have to do that for every damn, or would there be a way to composite it for each of the as a mask for each of the? I bet you that could be done with a mask in the video editing sequence or the composition for the video or the animation. I bet you anything there'd be a way to do that. Actually, let me just leave it to you guys. If you guys know of any way to um, take the technique that we just discovered tonight and create the. Oh, no, wait a minute. I just realized that it didn't work like it did on the video because I should have been able to save it with the bloom on it, and it didn't save it with the bloom on it. Anyway, okay, I'm done thinking about it right now. So I'm gonna go have a break and then I'll come back and do some Fallout 4 with you.